Hey guys, it's Jessie. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. Welcome back to my desk. I used to sit here and film all the time, but for some reason I stopped. I started filming like in front of my bookcase and stuff. But the reason we are at my desk today is because we have a super fun video in which I'm going to be tier ranking every single book I've ever given 5 stars. I believe there's 45 if I remember correctly, and I am pretty strict on my 5 stars. Like, I've read, since getting back into reading, maybe like 250 books or so, and you know, 45 have been 5 stars, so we're definitely strict on it. It's not a rating I give out easily. You know, I have way more 4.5, 4.75s than like solid 5s, but we have a lot of fun books today and I'm really excited to go through them all with you and share them all. So I will quickly run through my categories. First we have the top tier, which is Cut Me and I Bleed This Book. This is a quote from Magnolia Parks. These are books that like I feel so strongly about. They're so deeply in like my taste as a reader, who I am, maybe as a person, do you know what I mean? Like, these are like my favorite books of all time, like favorites list of every book I've ever read in my whole life, like top favorite book. Then after that we have a masterpiece. These are like solid 6-star reads. I love these books, they are incredible, I absolutely adore them. Then we have 5-star slay. This is just like a solid 5-star, like a 5-star read. It's excellent. It's not a favorite of all time, but it was probably like a favorite of the year. Like, it's just a solid 5. Then we have We Just Have a Special Connection, You Won't Understand. These are 4 books that I can see maybe a lot of people wouldn't enjoy, maybe were 5 stars for me for like a personal reason, and like I can see objectively probably wouldn't be a 5-star for most people, but like for me they are, so like whatever. And then we have Perhaps Reread Is Needed. These are ones I'm less certain about, and maybe I was a bit kind to them, or maybe I was a bit earlier in my reading journey, whatever. They're just not quite maybe what I would put as a 5-star now, but I'm not someone that will go back and change them unless I do actually reread it. I'm not going to go back and edit my reviews and things like that. Without further ado, let's just get straight into it. So first things first, we are starting off with a bang here, I can't lie. We are starting off with Daisy Hates the Great Undoing, which is my favourite Daisy Hates book and my favourite out of the whole Magnolia Park series, which is a favourite series for me altogether. So this is going straight into our top tier. Oh no, straight into our top tier. Cut Me and I Bleed This Book. I adore it. I love Christian and Daisy. This is just like a magnificent favourite of all time book. I love it to absolute pieces. Julian in here, everything about it I adore. I'm not going to be giving like book reviews in this video, but I'll just be talking about my general feelings. Then we have Wrong Place, Wrong Time. I think this is a solid 5-star slay. I think this might have been a 4.5 when I initially read it, but I did since up the rating. That is something I will do potentially. I will increase the rating if I do think that like over time my enjoyment has gotten more. And yeah, this one was a really solid thriller. I liked the twist in here. I had a great time with it, so I'm really pleased to have that in there. Then this one is a little bit kind of mixed reviews. I know a lot of people don't love it, but this I'm putting like a masterpiece. I feel like maybe I'll move it to 5-star slay because like my favorite thing about this was the side characters. I love like a cute little companion for a book, and this one I feel like definitely had this. So yeah, I'll put it in 5-star slay. Maybe not quite a masterpiece, but like I really adored In the Lives of Puppets. I thought it was an excellent book. I had such a fun time with it. Then Just for the Summer I do think is a masterpiece. Like, I think this is one of my favorite romances of all time, obviously because it's 5-star and I don't give out 5 stars super duper easily, but like I had an excellent time with this one. I loved the relationship between the couple. I thought it was very mature. I loved the other themes that we were dealing with, and I just loved Justin in this book. I thought he was adorable. Beartown is going into Cut Me and I Bleed This Book. This is absolutely incredible. Frederick Backman is one of the best like objective writers I've ever read from. I think he has just like a way with words and a way of capturing like the essence of humanity, which is just incredible. So I really loved Beartown. It's my favorite book by him. I do need to continue on with the series. It is a favorite of all time. I really can't wait to revisit it again. I think it's absolutely excellent. Babel, I feel like I want to put it in a masterpiece, but in terms of my enjoyment it probably would just be in 5-star slay. Like, this is a grand achievement of a book. It's absolutely excellent objectively. Like, I think it's really like something else. It's a very weighty book. It has a lot to say, and I think it's excellently done and excellently crafted. But for me, I also think personal enjoyment is high in a book, and I did find this a little bit dense at times. It's not like a favorite of all time, so I don't want this to dissuade anyone from reading it because I think it's absolutely incredible. Like, 5-star slay, and it probably should be in It's a Masterpiece, but just for me personally, for my personal enjoyment, I would put it here. I hope that doesn't bother anyone. Then we have Dear Dolly, which is definitely in We Just Have a Special Connection. So I mean, I read this at the perfect time in my life. Objectively, a bunch of like advice columns probably wouldn't be a 5-star, but for me, like, I just read it at the perfect time. I really love Dolly Alderton's writing. writing. I'd also read this like just after rereading her other book and I had an excellent time with it. So yeah, I'm very, very happy to put it, you know, you guys wouldn't understand, you had to be there and be me in that specific moment, so that is why that is there. Darling Venom, you know, this could be a reread needed. I read this in 2022, I believe, and it was just one that I read like all at once and I was really obsessed with it, but honestly, like, I cannot remember too much from it, to be honest. Like, I enjoyed it a lot, clearly. I couldn't put it down. It was like 700 pages, but I don't think it would be like a solid 5 star going back and reflecting. Then we have The Last Devil to Die by Richard Osman, my favourite in the Thursday Murder Club series, which is one of my favourites of all time. Similarly to Beartown, I feel like Richard Osman is excellent at like really getting to the crux of humanity and what it means to be a human, and as well I just adore the characters in here, and the mystery itself is also very, very interesting, so that's obviously a bonus too, so absolutely that goes up there. Dizzy Hits 1 goes in, it's a masterpiece. It's not quite as good as the second for me, but like, I think it's absolutely excellent. I really, really do enjoy it every time. My feelings on the Magnolia Parks universe, I think it's just because I feel so connected to the characters. I adore them so much. I'd read like 500 pages of them doing nothing and just have a great time with it. So I really, really did enjoy the series, especially Daisy Hates. Ask for Andrea, I really did love. I'm debating between 5-star slay and a masterpiece. I feel like objectively there are some flaws within the writing. I think I'm going to put it in 5-star slay, but I think it would go to the very top of 5-star slay in my opinion. I do think this will be on my favourites list of this year. Out of these books so far, only 3 of them I've read this year, and I don't think Dear Dolly will be on the favourites. Yeah, I love this one. I think it's so criminally underrated, but it's an absolutely excellent book. I love a more feminist type true crime perspective, but it is a fiction book. It Ends With Us, I'm going to put in we just have a special connection, you know what I mean? I felt very much connected to this book. I read it right as when I started getting back into reading, and I just felt very, very connected to Lily as a character. I mean, it's been talked about to death, you don't need to hear me talk about it, but like certain aspects people don't enjoy, and I can understand that, but for me, like, I just had a personal connection to it, so it would still stay as 5-star probably, but just going in, we have a special connection, do you know what I mean? Then Good Girl Bad Blood. Okay, when I read Good Girl's Guide to Murder, the whole series, this one was my favorite, so I'm going to put this in 5-star slay, but I'm probably also going to put Good as Dead in 5-star slay as well. These were both excellent books. I really do want to reread the whole series. I thought it's incredible. I love the trajectory that it goes on. The whole series I think is an absolutely excellent murder mystery series. I'm very excited for the TV show as well. Although I think objectively at the time I enjoyed Good Girl Bad Blood more, I would probably put them in the same 5-star slay category. Then we have True Crime Story. I adore. I would kind of put this in a masterpiece. This is one of my favourite thrillers, mysteries that I've ever read. It's mixed media, which, as we've seen with Good Girl Bad Blood here, it's one of my favourite tropes of all time. I don't even know if you could call it a trope, like format of the story. This is such a good murder mystery. I love the twist in here. This was the first time I've read a twist like this, and it's kind of become one of my favourite twists. Like, it gags me every time. I absolutely love it, and I thought it was done really, really well in here, where I was super duper surprised, and like, I just thought it was excellently done. I really, really had a great time with it. Then I'm Glad My Mum Died by Jeanette McCurdy. This is a solid 5-star slay. This is a memoir about her time on Nickelodeon and her like really complex relationship with her mother. I thought it was excellent. The audiobook was narrated by her, which also always adds to my enjoyment of a book, and I just thought it was an excellent 5-star. Magnolia Parks 2. This one isn't my favourite in the series, so I'm going to put it in 5-star slay. This was initially a 4.5 for me, and then I reread it and gave it a 5, but I definitely didn't enjoy it as much as the others in the series. I thought it was good, but it wasn't quite as good as Daisy Hates in my opinion. Convenience Store Woman was my favourite for a while, but I'll put it in 5-star slay. The year I read it, I really enjoyed it, and I was getting really into translated fiction, but I feel like I've had a few duds, and it's kind of like slowed my progress with reading a lot of translated fiction, but this one was a really, really solid one. I'd like to give it a reread. Love on the Brain is also going in a solid 5-star slay. It's not groundbreaking or anything like that, but I really did enjoy it. I thought it was such a cute story. I love Ali Hazelwood's writing. I don't know why The Love Hypothesis isn't on here. I thought I gave that 5 stars, maybe not. I might need to reread it and then we'll see. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed Love on the Brain. I know it's similar to her other stemless books, but like, I have great time with them and I just enjoy them, do you know what I mean? Happy Place is a masterpiece. This is my favourite Emily Henry. I love her books. I can't wait to reread Beach Read this month. I have plans to, and I'm very, very excited because I adore that book. And yeah, just like, no complaints. I think it's an absolutely excellent book. It's not quite on Cut Me In, I believe, this book, because I don't know if it's a favourite of all time, but then I think on a reread I actually do think there's a very strong potential for me to enjoy it even more than the initial read. So love that one. It Starts With Us definitely could do with a reread. I have a full reading vlog of this when I read it initially, and I did give it a 5 stars, but like honestly, like I don't remember it at all. I can't remember anything about it. I just feel like I was running off my love for the first one. Maybe this is more of a 3, like a 4 for enjoyment, but like I just love being back with the characters. Not all of the characters, just some of the characters, and I did have a good time with it. Then we have House on the Cerulean Sea. Is a 5-star slay. I love this one. This is so cute. I'm really interested to see where we go with the sequel, but this is just such an adorable cozy fantasy story. Then we have The Sweetest Oblivion, which is a mafia romance that I read when I first started getting back into reading. I'll put this in perhaps a reread is needed because I remember nothing about it, like at all, but like I was obsessed with it at the time. So I honestly have no idea where I would rank it, what I would say about it. So yeah, unfortunately, perhaps not quite as good as I first thought it was. If this gets out, again, I read this one when I first started getting back into reading, but I'm going to put it in 5-star slay. Like I do want to reread it because I don't remember it. It's like a boy band romance. It's very One Direction coded, but I had like an excellent time with it, and like reflecting on it, it's one of my favorite YAs that I've read, so I really would like to read it again. Like I think I read this in maybe 2021, so it could have been a really long time ago. But yeah, I'm very excited to give it a reread eventually because I know I loved it. Magnolia Park's Into the Dark, I'll put in 5-star slay. I kind of enjoyed this one the same as the 3rd book in the series. It wasn't groundbreaking to me, but again, I do just love being with those characters, you know what I mean? The Hunger Games was an incredibly formative book for me. This formed a large part of my personality for a long time. I was obsessed with the Hunger Games. My special editions arrive tomorrow. When you're watching this, I should have received my special editions that I've been waiting for since January. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to reread The Hunger Games. I'm planning on doing it so next month. I've only ever read it the one time. I've watched the movie quite a lot, but like I read the first book like nearish when the first movie came out. I watched them all in cinema. Like I was obsessed. Like if I had to pick like a trivia topic, it would be The Hunger Games, in particular the first one. Like my love for Peter at a young age is like irrevocably influenced my interest in men. Do you know what I mean? Like that shaped me, what I want in my life. I'm obsessed. I was and I still am obsessed with The Hunger Games. Regretting You also I feel falls in perhaps a reread is needed. Same with Reminds of Him. I'll put them in, kind of lump them in together. These were 2 Colleen Hoover's I read when I was just starting to get back into reading. I have actually read everything that she has ever published. I think I found her books super readable, and I think that's really excellent when you're first getting back into reading. And I did enjoy them, but I don't think they'd potentially be a 5-star. Like I'm not saying I'd give them a 1, but I think a 4-star for both of them kind of feels a little bit more apt given what I like now and my taste now and things like that. Again, I'm not going to go back and change it. I don't need to do that. Horror Store I adored. This is going in 5-star slay. This is one of Brady Hendrix's least popular books, but it is my favourite from him. I thought this was absolutely excellent. It was just so camp, it was so fun, it was so gripping. It was like everything I want in a horror book. It was set out like an IKEA manual. How fun. Like it was just camp and I loved it. So that is definitely going there. Part of Your World also goes in 5-star slay. I adored this one. I love Alexis and Daniel. Daniel is also one of my favourite male main characters. Abby Jimenez writes some of my favourite MMCs in all romance ever. They're so sweet, they're so lovely, and it's exactly what I want in a male main character. I love them. So yeah, this is just an excellent romance book in my opinion. Like it's everything that I really want in a romance. Then we have Divine Might by Natalie Haynes. I think I want to put this in 5-star slay. I don't actually, like when I look at it, I feel like I'm gonna put it right at the front of 5-star slay. I know it doesn't really mean very much, but I do just think this is an absolutely excellent non-fiction. I feel like I would put it in a masterpiece if there wasn't a non-fiction coming up that I think I have read since and fits that title more, and it's just a little bit better in terms of like the way it's crafted and my personal like attachment to it, I guess. But yeah, I really enjoyed Divine Might. Actually, I feel like I'm gonna put it at the tail end of a masterpiece because I love this one. It is a really excellently told non-fiction about Greek goddesses in myth and mythology and everything, and I loved it. So yeah, I'm happy with it being in the masterpiece category. I feel like it would be towards the tail end, but yeah, I do want it to be there because everything I know about love is also a non-fiction, but I'm going to put this in 5-star slay. I do think there is a bit of a gap between them in my personal enjoyment. So yeah, I also loved Everything I Know About Love. As I said before, I really like Dolly Alderton's writing. I love her like kind of direct-to-reader voice, and I loved it. I thought it has some really great messages about female friendship and things like that, and I just really enjoyed it. If We're Villains is a masterpiece. I'm sorry, like I absolutely love it. I know it's got some mixed opinions. It's very similar to The Secret History, which I haven't actually read yet, and I am very excited to, but I loved this. I was so sucked into the story. I loved the dark academia. I loved everything about it. I thought it was excellent. So I had a great time with it. I've got my special edition that you can't really see, but she's gorgeous. I love her. Love Theoretically, I feel like I might put this in a masterpiece. I know that sounds a bit silly for a little like Ali Hazelwood romance, but I love her writing, so I think I'm going to put it there. Again, towards the tail end. I don't think it's quite as good as Just for the Summer or Happy Place, but I still think it's better than like Love on the Brain and other books in that category, so I'm happy to put it there. Actually, Part of Your World also I kind of want at the top of this category. Do you know what I mean? I feel like Part of Your World and Love Theoretically are very similar to me, so maybe I'll put Love Theoretically down here. Yeah, I feel like that makes more sense to me, and I'm happy to have those there. The Last Word I would also put in 5-star Slay. I thought this was an absolutely excellent thriller. This was one of my first 5 stars of this year. I had a little bit of a drought, but then this one definitely brought me back, and I had an excellent time with it. This is just a super gripping kind of cat and mouse one night thriller, and it was just excellent, like really gripping, and I couldn't put it down. Empire of Pain is the non-fiction I was talking about. This is actually a masterpiece. This is genuinely the most incredible piece of non-fiction I've ever read. It's kind of like investigative journalism about the family that pretty much orchestrated the opioid crisis in America. So it is a little bit heavy, but it doesn't feel overwhelmingly depressing. Like obviously it's a very sad topic, but the way it's told isn't, I feel, like trying to like pull emotion out of you. It's a really like excellent piece of investigative journalism, and I think one of my favorite styles of non-fiction. Like I feel like this should be the baseline. If we're wanting to do an investigative journalism non-fiction, I feel like everyone looking to write that should read this book. It was absolutely excellent. Then Bright Young Women Cut Me and I Bleed. This book is one of my favorite books of all time. It was my favorite standalone of last year. This is just such a beautiful feminist retelling, or like look at kind of true crime and surviving, things like that, and feminism and misogyny in like the 80s, 70s. It was just incredible, and I love it. I can't wait to reread it. Magnolia Parks is also 5-star Slay. I think this one is better than the others, so we'll put her here above Into the Dark and The Long Way Home, because I do prefer this one, but again, it's just not quite up there with Daisy Hates. Like I just love the Daisy Hates books. Then Murder in the Family, I'm gonna put in 5-star Slay. I feel like this is another mixed media murder mystery. We know what I like, you know what I mean? We know what I give 5 stars, and I did enjoy it. However, it's not quite up there with like the best books of all time, but it's definitely a 5-star for me personally. The twist in this one I wasn't surprised by, but I still did enjoy it, and I thought it was a good overall book, and I love a little mixed media moment. When in Rome was actually such a surprising 5-star for me, but it's so solid. I'm reading Practice Makes Perfect at the moment, and I'm very excited to dig into it more. I just love Amelia and Noah in this book. I love also the One of Us is Famous trope. I just really enjoy it for some reason, and yeah, I just had an excellent time with this book. Really surprisingly as well, this and The Last Word kind of really broke my 5-star drought. I read them back to back, and I enjoyed them both so much, so I have no bad words to say about it. It was just such a cute, lovely small town romance. Final Girl Support Group is also a 5-star Slay. This is like a horror thriller mix, very much like a slasher movie. Another Grady Hendrix 5-star from me. I think this is one of his most widely read, but not quite as popular as Southern Book Club or Best Friend's Exorcism, but I loved it. I had such a great time with it. I couldn't put it down. It was really excellent. Then we have Milk Blood Heat, which is a short story collection, and I think I can only remember like 2 stories from here. This is in the reread category because I think unlike these, the rating wouldn't necessarily go down. It's just that I can't remember it. I know I really enjoyed it at the time, but like it's completely gone from my memory, so I would need to read it again. Red, White and Royal Blue is also going in 5-star Slay. I love this one. It's so cute. I love the movie as well. I just love them together. They're so cute. It's just one of the most lovely romances ever, and I just love it. It was one of the ones that I read when I first started getting back into reading. It's probably one of my oldest 5 stars on this list, and one of the few that have persisted, and I just loved it. I thought it was excellent. And then Ignite Me and Unravel Me, I'm going to put one of these in 5-star Slay and one of these in perhaps a reread is needed, because I can't tell the difference between the two, but I know that I really enjoyed them at the time, and I really enjoyed this story. I definitely think the series should have ended where it initially did, because the continuations, the books after this, there's 3 more, and they really kind of spoiled my enjoyment of the series, because I just feel like they were so redundant. They went so downhill, and it just really like ruined the series in my opinion. So one of these is like 5-star Slay, and one of these, you know, kind of to balance out how I feel about these last 2 books in the series in my mind, because it should have ended. Like I feel on a reread they would still be 5-star Slay, but I don't remember, so I'm going to split them between the 2. So this is my list of 5-star reads. The top ones are like favourites of all time. Then we have Masterpiece, which is like just a bit below favourites of the year, most definitely. 5-star Slay, you'd probably see them on a favourites list, but maybe they're not quite as memorable, and then the others, again, we spoke about them before, you know what it means. So that is me going through and tier ranking all of my 5-star reads. I really hope you guys did enjoy. I had such a fun time doing this. I love to just be able to talk positively about my favourite books for like 20 minutes. I had such a fun time, so I really hope you guys did too. Let me know if you've read any of these books, what you thought of them. If you thought bad things about some of my favourite books, please, like, low-key don't tell me. I feel like I may cry. But if you enjoyed these, or let me know what your favourite 5-star reads that you have as well, what you would put in your own S tier, do let me know down below. I'm very intrigued to know. I love a good book recommendation. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like down below. Hit subscribe and turn the bell to join a little club, and make sure to turn on all notifications, then you'll be notified every single time I post a new video. If you want to watch one of my other videos, there'll be 2 on the screen now to pick from, as well as they're linked up in the cards from earlier. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!